Hello, kindergarten mathematicians. So today we're going to be talking about subtraction a bit more, but I also want to start by saying that today we are at day 137 of being kindergarten buddies. So what you might see on the screen right now, hopefully you do see it, is that I'm showing some addition equations because we actually talked about the same skill with addition. So it's talking about patterns that you notice in math. Now, many of us know about patterns when we're talking about like red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. But when we talk about math patterns, we just want to notice how things are changing. So let's look at this first, these two problems over here, these addition problems. If you look, this is something called the turnaround rule. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And then you'll notice that the two parts switch. So now we have 2 plus 3, which is also 5. And then here is another list dealing with addition that when this row gets larger, this row of parts gets smaller, but every single one of these number sentences or equations still equals 3. So that's a little review of how we've talked about patterns dealing with addition. Today we're going to talk about patterns and how we can see them with subtraction. Now, it's a little bit different. So we're going to try this problem together, and then we're going to notice the patterns. So you'll see there's pictures here. So there's a picture here, and it's going to match with this equation. So again, we can look at this picture and do this equation pretty easily. And you can do this on your workspace. So this picture is showing me 3, which they have for us, take away 1, and then the remaining part is 2. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. So again, our whole remains 3, and then we're taking away 2, which equals 1. Now the last one is 3, and then we're taking away all 3, and then that equals 0. What do you notice about the rows or the columns with these equations lined up the way that they are? So I notice that this column, this one gets larger as we take more away, this column gets smaller. So the part of what the equation equals gets smaller. So it's just making that connection that as we solve these problems, that you'll see as this part gets bigger, this part gets smaller. What I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video, and then I would like you to try these on your own. So see if you can solve these equations. Go. So I did the work while you did the work, and you may notice that I solved all of these. And again, this follows that same pattern that we saw before. As these numbers get smaller, looking from top to the bottom, these numbers get larger. All of these connections just help us when trying to solve math more quickly. So it's just something for us to notice and practice. So that's one type of pattern. Here's another type of pattern. So we talked about this originally with addition. Now with subtraction, it's a little bit different because when we're adding two parts together, we then have the whole. With subtraction, we always start with the whole. So then our two parts are over here. So this is the subtraction turnaround rule. So if you notice, it's 5, take away 0 is 5. And then this one is 5, take away 5, it's 0. See how these two digits turned around or switched? And that's one of the patterns to notice when you're solving subtraction. Does the first digit ever switch? No, because it's always the whole. We only switch parts when we're talking about the turnaround rule. So then here, if I know that 5 take away 1 is 4, then 5 take away 4 is 1. Another way to look at patterns when dealing with subtraction. So let's look at this one, because this is something that you're going to see on your work today. So in this one, we have 5. This is similar to something we just saw. We have 5 take away 1, which is 4. And then we have to find what's missing. So 5 take away how many is 1. There are two ways to do this. So if you remember the turnaround rule, you may make the connection that there's a 1 here being taken away from 5. So then our other part is 4. So then you may think in your head, oh, then this part is the missing part down here, because that's how subtraction works. But if you aren't sure, then what you could do on a problem like this, because you're going to see a problem like this in your independent work, you might want to draw 5 circles. And then we know one of the parts. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to take away 1 to find what's missing. And the missing part is 4. So you could either notice that from the turnaround rule, or you could just tell by solving the problem this way. All right, boys and girls. So today's work is a little bit, take your time with it and really try your best, because working with patterns in math can be a little bit tricky at first. But it's just about making some math connections in our brains and trying some different ways to look at subtraction. Today is going to be actually our last math video for the week, because then tomorrow you're going to review a little bit about what we've talked about subtraction. And then on Friday, we have kind of like a free choice Friday / maybe a test type thing for you. So I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.